2 minutes here for this thing to reset itself. So if I want to generate a whatever gum contaminated blow tube that maybe has longer term contamination, what I probably could do is put mouthwash into a sorbitol gums mixture, and let it soak, let the film deposit, and hopefully and encapsulate some of the alcohol. Yeah, it's a basic delivery system right there. Okay, so generated a flat score there. So again, control tube, no problem. Contaminated tube. Let's see if it fails again. At the rate it's been dropping, I expect it'll no longer generate a failure at this point in time. But the question is will there be residual contamination at this point? How long, if I continue doing this, how long will it take to generate a baseline result? At this point, I haven't been taking attention to the time, but yeah, maybe it's been at least 15 minutes since it was contaminated. I'm gonna guess this is gonna drop down to maybe about a 0.02 at this point. Just assuming a sort of asymptotic approach, exponential decay, half-life sort of thing. And the idea that there's going to be a residual that's not going to go away very quickly at all. So I can also assume that, the asymptotic limit, for the short term is probably going to be about 0.01. So, what we should see here likely is probably about a 0.2, and then, probably until I get, bored doing this, steady drop to about 0.01. This is what I would expect, just, guesstimating based on previous experience of things and understanding, roughly how things work. We will see. I'm guessing 0.02. We will see. We'll see how consistent the results are, too. One of the baffling things about this has been, the inconsistent results with the gum. Why do you get, why does it seem to flare up, at one point or whatnot, perhaps it's, something in me, there actually is some naturally occurring, ethanol or methanol or something, or, in my system, or acetic acid even, and that randomness is, combining with, whatever's going on with this, contaminated blow tube randomness, and, giving more wild fluctuations. I also want to note that there was things about acetone, and that makes sense now that you know that it's acetic acid, where there's problems with diabetics and people dieting and stuff, and there's acetone in the system. This is, kind of what I was getting at when I was speculating about ketone bodies. There's also acid reflux conditions, too. And I do experience some acid reflux, especially when I eat chocolate. I doubt that's going on here, but, it's possible. Okay. Okay, so 0.14, so still contaminated. I'll do one more of the baseline results to again, show that, hey, look, blow tubes can become contaminated. You're not measuring by blood alcohol content, you're measuring whether or not the blow tube's contaminated. Otherwise, I'm going to let this thing sit and come back maybe in 15 minutes or something, and see what this is down to in terms of baseline results. Having the doors open here at this point probably is, helping this thing come down faster than it would. I mean, this would just be sitting in an unventilated car. Also in the winter, it's colder, you're going to have lower vapor pressure, so I'm going to close the doors here, at least. Okay. Okay, so yeah, at this point I'm done with this experiment to the extent that I'll come back in half an hour and see if this tube is still contaminated. It's still generating false positives. You know, and to see you know, what, if it goes down to zero or not. You know, how quickly, you know, if it goes down to zero and how quickly, you know. So I'll come back in half an hour, let's say, and see where this thing's at. Okay, and then yeah, I guess the next thing is yeah, I'll clean it, you know, and I guess I'm gonna take this other one, and I'm gonna try to put down a alcohol-based mouthwash. I got Listerine upstairs. A coating of alcohol-based sorbitol gum on this thing, okay, and hopefully be able to demonstrate a more longer-term contamination. This you know, isn't too surprising. It's just Cologne, you know, is going away fairly quickly. I'm guessing I can contaminate this thing for more of a long-term effect, you know, with the gum, you know, to make, you know, to slow down the evaporation or whatnot, you know, significantly. So I'm going to go ahead and contaminate my control tube. I don't really have any doubt that I'm going to be able to rinse this thing out, you know, and turn this into the control tube. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to come back in half an hour or whatever, you know, and see where it's at. Then I'll rinse it out and use this one. But at this point, I've demonstrated a, you know, this thing is not measuring my blood alcohol content. It's not even measuring my breath content. It is measuring the contamination of a blow tube. You know, that should be pretty clear, even to, you know, idiot state employees.